Hi guys, welcome to another maths tutorial brought to you by Direct Tutoring. This is part 4 of the 2019 National 5 Maths non-calculator breakdown. The first 3 videos cover questions 1 through till 9. In this video we'll take a look at questions 10, 11 and 12. So if we just jump straight in, question number 10 is a vectors question. And it's given as a triangle PQR with position vectors PR and RQ, and it's asking us to express PQ in component form. Now, in order to find PQ, it's only worth a mark, but PQ, we have to use these two vectors here, because we need P at the start and Q at the end, as we have here. And R is the common point between them. So PQ is the same as PR, and then it will be plus RQ. So if we substitute in the values, we have PR is 6 and minus 4, plus, and then it's going to be minus 1 and 8. So 6 plus minus 1 will give you 5, and minus 4 plus 8 will give you 4. Now part B is asking us to express MQ in component form. And from the diagram, we can see that M is the midpoint of PR. Now we know the vector PR here, but M is the middle of the line. So that means that MR must be half of PR, because we need the vector from M to Q. So we have to go from MR and then RQ. So if we write that out, that's going to look like, so if we put MR plus RQ. Now MR is essentially a half of PR. Plus RQ. Now we have PR, so it's going to be a half times. Now PR was 6 minus 4. And RQ was minus 1 and 8. So if we multiply this by a half first, we'll get 3 and minus 2 plus, and then minus 1 and 8. And then if we add these together, our final answer will become 2 and 6. Now, question 11 is quite a tricky question in that the geometry can be a little bit confusing. However, this is the first part of the paper, and it says she starts by drawing a regular pentagon ABCDE. She then adds the designs as shown here. Calculate the size of the angle OFB. So we want this angle here, this one in here. Now, it doesn't really give us any numbers, so we need to look at this diagram first. Now what we do know is if these are pentagons, then all of them will be equal around this circle, because in here, this is technically a circle, so all of these angles will be exactly the same. So if we do for this angle in here, right, we'll use this one. So for this angle, we'll have 360 divided by 5. And that will give us an angle of 72 degrees. Now, if we look at the second part, if we keep that in mind, so this part in here is 72. Now, we're going to have to try and get a wee bit imaginative, because we are only interested in a certain part of the diagram. So all of this we can disregard. We don't need any of this. If we deal with this section only, and forgetting about all of this down here. So all we're needing to do is isolate this section here. Now, we know that there is 180 degrees in a straight line. Here we know that this proportion is 72. So the angle BOF, so BOF is going to be 180 minus 72, which will give us 108 degrees. So that is 108 in here. Now, this type of triangle in here, if we highlight it in green, is an isosceles triangle, which tells us that this angle and that angle is exactly the same. So all we have to do is, for the angle OFB, we do 180, take away the angle that we already know, which is the 108, which will end us back up with the 72 degrees. However, that is shared between 2, so we have to divide this by 2. So your final answer will become 36 degrees. And question 12 is a surds question, and it's asking us to rationalise the denominator. Now, rationalising the denominator is getting rid of any square root signs on the denominator of the fraction. So we have to use the laws of surds in order to answer this. So if we have the square root of 2 over the square root of 40. Now, if we start off by timesing the top and bottom by the square root of 40, then we get rid of the square root sign on the bottom of the fraction. So we end up with the square root of 80 over 40. Now, what we have to do now is simplify this as far as possible, because yes, technically we have rationalised the denominator. However, it's asking it for it in its simplest form. So we have to simplify the top, or the numerator. Now, two numbers that will multiply together to give you 80, one of which you will need to be able to square root properly without a calculator. So let's try 16 times 5, and we keep the 40 as it is. So if we do the square root of 16 times the square root of 5 over 40, then we end up with 4 root 5 divided by 40, which we can then simplify the 4 and the 40, so we get the square root of 5 over 10. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and for the remaining solution questions, please check out our YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next video.